Okay, so this happened to me in 2015. It's gonna stay with me for the rest of my life because it was like so freaking creepy and it was just really freaking weird. So basically, I was out of the country for a weekend and I stayed at a family's home for one night. I heard stories about this home, about like this ghost or like entity that would like spook and scare people. But I didn't think anything of it because they said that they had like taken care of that and all of that stuff happened years ago. So when I went, it wasn't on my mind, like everything felt fine, there weren't weird vibes or anything, until I went to bed. So I go to bed and I'm on the floor and there are two girls on the bed. It's 12 a.m. at this point and I'm having a hard time falling asleep, but I don't really question it. I'm just like, oh, whatever. An hour goes by, I can't fall asleep. I'm starting to get annoyed. Another hour goes by, I can't fall asleep. I finally feel my eyelids getting really heavy. I'm super excited about that. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, sleep, finally. As soon as I start getting really tired, something fucking grabs me by my shoulders and lifts me off of the floor and shakes me like this. And I like tried to scream, but I couldn't, so it got stuck in my throat, so it sounded really fucking weird. And I guess the two girls also weren't sleeping because they immediately were like, what the fuck, like, are you okay? I brushed it off. I was like, you know what, maybe, I think I was just dreaming, because like I didn't want to process it, because like I didn't know what was happening, you know what I mean? Like I was like, wait, did I dream that? Or I don't know. It's like 3 a.m. now. And one girl leaves because she has to catch a flight. The other girl flies off from the bed and is like, you need to come sleep with me right now because I'm really scared. And I'm just like, oh my God, okay, like maybe I wasn't dreaming about that. So she was spooked out by this alcove, but I don't remember if anything happened to her. Her and I are also having a hard time sleeping again. 2 hours go by and I think I'm able to fall back asleep, but instead I have a fucking nightmare. And it's a real-time nightmare. So like I'm in bed, I'm in that home, and this girl crawls up from under the bed and is trying to eat my feet. I wake up and I'm like, I can't go back to sleep after that. 6 o'clock in the morning at this point, and I'm spooning her. And there's a pillow that's in between us, and on top of the pillow is her arm, and on top of her arm is my hand. And I'm just like holding her like this, but I'm not really holding it. My hand is just chilling over here. As soon as the both of us are starting to fall asleep, my hand tightens around her wrist and picks it up off the pillow and shakes it. And her and I are watching it happen. And I'm like, did you see that? She's like, I saw that. Did you do that? And I was like, I didn't do it. Did you somehow do that? Like push your arm up or something? She's like, no. So it was really weird to see my hand do something that I didn't make it do. So this thing was like preventing us from falling asleep and making it like a living hell to like not sleep. That is like so freaking, that's so evil, right? Like preventing someone from sleeping. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my God. And now when I look back and think about that like nightmare I had, I'm like, was that really a nightmare? Or did I see that happen?
So let's talk about it. Because while we play with sleep, y'all know I cherish sleep. Sleep is my thing. I think I like sleeping over eating. I really like sleeping. Sleeping is always been my thing. I would sleep all day. So the fact that you just picked me up and woke me up out my sleep, and I'm not an awake person, like first waking up, because you say you're not a morning person, but if I'm taking a nap and you wake me up, those are fighting actions. If that thing woke me up, we would be fighting. We would be scrapping real quick. Because why did you just wake me up? I was just about to go to sleep. Because you know when you about to go to sleep, you right there, you dozing. And somebody wakes you up, you wake up evil. That's that part of you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I sure did because I wasn't supposed to wake up yet. My alarm didn't go off. It's not time to wake up and you waking me up. So that would have been fighting actions. We'd be swinging the air. We'd be swinging the air because you fighting to go. So yeah, honey, no. And the dream part. You telling me that this ghost has a foot fetish? Is that what it is? Like eating your feet? That's weird. That's super weird. Just a cannibal fetish, foot fetish ghost. Like that's crazy. Other girl was like, "Oh, I gotta go. I can't stay up here. I got a flight." And thankfully, I'm out of here. If I was her, I would have been out. Would have been at the airport sleeping, napping. Cause ain't no way I can't go to sleep for a why? For why? For why I can't go to sleep? Cause that's weird. That's really weird. Oh, girl was like, if you gotta get into bed with me, y'all won't feel safe, and y'all still ain't sleeping. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. You had that bad nightmare, and then all of a sudden y'all about to go back to sleep, and somebody takes your hand to pick up her hand to shake y'all awake to make sure y'all up. That ghost was like, "You up? Cause I got a foot fetish. I want to play with your feet and eat them up. I want to suck on your toes." No, no, I don't like that. But hey, that was disrespectful as heck. Over here, waking you up out of your sleep, playing games. Why are we still there, friend? You said that's your family house or whatever. Why are we there? And who are these people that you with? Did you introduce these people? Did I miss that part? Just random people? And why are you sleeping on the floor? If it's all girls in the room and there's two beds, you best believe I'm sleeping with somebody. Like, I'm not about to sleep on the floor. Like, this ain't my house. Wow, friend, there was a lot going on that just did not make sense. And nobody was questioning nothing. Y'all were just letting it happen. Not questioning it. Just letting it happen. Nah. It could not be me. Because I would not be there. I would be like, this really happened. Okay. Okay. It's my time to go. Clearly, they did not finish cleansing this place. They did not do a good job. They was not thorough with this. They need to come back and do it again. Just do it all over again. Because, what is this? Like, who is this visitor? Who is over here trying to suck on toes?
Okay, I got one for you, and this one sounds not even bizarre. It just sounds like I'm crazy. So if anybody has answers as to what the fuck I seen, let me know in the comments. So we would stay at my great grandmother's house. That was huge property, by the way, like huge. And it was a family reunion. We were the first ones to get there that night. And in the room that we stayed in was a huge, huge room. It was able to fit 3 beds, 3 queen beds, and a wardrobe in the corner, and like our suitcases. It was a really big room. In that big room is a door that has like, if you've been to Mexico, you know what I'm talking about. It's like the windows that are blurry that are usually found in like shower doors. So like you could see like figures on the other side. It's just that it's like not clear. So this door had that window, and that door lets you use like a smaller room. So I slept on a bed with my younger sister. Keep in mind, I'm 3, so my sister has to be like 1.5, maybe 2. Which is the furthest one away from the door. It's like the very corner. Next to us is another queen bed, and that's my parents. And then across from us is another bed on the corner by that door, and it's my older sister. She's sleeping by herself on that bed. Now, this is where it gets a little crazy, so stick. I woke up in the middle of the night to tapping sounds. I remember sitting up in my bed and looking around the room like, what is that? And everybody was sleeping. My dad's snoring. Like, everybody's knocked out. All the lights are off. The only light that is in the room is the moonlight. There is a window in that big room, and it's like, I remember being so high, and the moonlight is casting in. Now, on the other side of that little small room is also a window on the same side of the wall, and you can see the moonlight also casting in that other side of the room because it's bright in there. So I remember looking into that door, that at least a little small room, right? I saw this hairy dog-shaped man. Now, remember, it wasn't clear. I only saw like the outline of his face, and I remember his face looked like a Yorkie. Like, it was a big snout, and like I could see the hair. But one thing I will never forget is its long fingers and nails. I swear to God, it was like a horror movie. Like, he was making the tapping sounds, and I could see how long his fucking nails are. And I remember him pointing at me, so he'd do this and then point at me and then he would do this for me to come and open the door for him. Now, that sounds bizarre, but I remember I could see him visibly getting upset because I wasn't going to open the door. And I remember shaking my head and being like, no, I'm not going. I felt so scared, like something, I don't know what it was. It just, something was telling me, don't go open that. And I see him start getting frustrated and walking back and forth. So he would like walk that way, past the window, walk that way, past the, so start pacing around, and then he'd stop at the door again, at that little window, and start tapping again. And would just continue to point and have point down for me to open the door. I remember that my parents said that I woke them up. I was screaming. That I kept saying that there was a dog man. There's a dog man outside the window. My dad thought it was a man, like trying to lure me outside. And so he hopped on the roof that is like right by that window where my sister's at. And no one could see, no one's seen anything. So my mom had to calm me down. She said that she went back to bed. She put me back to bed. But I remember like the lights going on and he wasn't there anymore. As soon as the lights go off, everybody falls back to sleep. He starts tapping again and he's there again. I remember I was so petrified that I slept with the covers over my head and I woke up the next morning. And apparently, I wasn't the only family member who has seen this dog man on the property. 2 other people that I know in my family, like distant relatives, have also seen what this creature was, and they actually seen it, like its face. To this day, I don't know what the fuck it was. I don't know if it's like, so it just felt, whatever it was, it felt ancient. I don't know what it was, but if I close my eyes, I can put myself back there, and I remember vividly what he was doing, how he was pacing, how he looked, those nails, the fingers. It was something like fucking Pennywise would do. I have not stayed in that property in like 20 plus years, but yeah, if anybody knows what it was, what it possibly may be, let me know.
Y'all heard that? She said she ain't been back to that property. I don't blame her. That would have been me. I would have never been back. That one experience was enough. I would not go back. Like, love you, Grandma. Would love to come to another family reunion. But if it's here, I ain't coming. I ain't coming. You Zoom called me. Because that's why I can't even imagine. You wake up and it's like, it was like communicating to you. It's like it woke you up. Like you was the only one that was up. It was like it was trying to get your attention. Knew you was up and was trying to communicate. Like open the door. Like what is? I don't know you. I don't even know what you are. Why would I do that? That's scary, friend. I don't know. I couldn't go back to sleep. I would not be there anymore. I would not be in that house. I'd be like, look here. As a 3-year-old, I would raise some hell. Be like, I can't stay here. You gonna stay up all night with me. You ain't going back to sleep. If I ain't sleeping, you ain't going back to sleep. And cut the lights on and you still see the thing? Oh no. We all up tonight. We all up, because ain't no way if we ain't leaving, nobody's sleeping. And the fact that other people have seen this thing that you've seen, that's enough. That's it for me. That's all I needed right there. That, oh, you seen it too? And it's not just one, it's 2 people? Oh, bet. What is that, Grandma? Like, what was that? Like, no one figured it out? Like, they seen it in the flesh. So, yeah. No, not cool. Would not want to see it again. And we've heard about, like, I've heard about stories about Dogman and all this other stuff. The stories I've heard was that, I've heard 2 stories. I heard about the Anunnaki. Is that right? I can't remember. Anunnaki made interbreeds, wanted to breed humans and dogs together. They were just doing all types of experiments to breed humans and animals together. Then I also heard of the government breeding people and animals together and different animals, especially when it came to our organs and stuff, trying to figure it out and trying to figure things out. I've heard 2 stories, but basically it was somebody breeding and somehow it happened. I don't even know if that's possible. I know you can breed animals with animals because, you know, that's how we have mules. Like, that's such thing as a mule. But they're really close. Like, I don't know if they have the same build up, the same genetics, but I'm pretty sure it's close enough that they could do that. Like, there has to be a reason that's done. Like, I don't know. But yeah, that's not cool, friend. Y'all be safe. Sell that property. Like, it ain't worth it. Creatures, ancient creatures, that's all. A myth, a long old time story creature. So yeah, no, friend. Be safe in the woods, in them streets, in the house.
So my kids never met my grandparents. They passed when they were really young, and they lived out of state. And my grandfather lived in an assisted living home. He had really bad Alzheimer's, and my kids never met them. He passed away first, and this happened when my oldest son was 3 years old. And on the day that it happened, I got a phone call telling me, but I didn't say anything to my kids about it because they were 1 and 3. They didn't know him, and I just didn't think that they would understand and didn't want to upset them. So on that day, I put my son down for his nap, and after a little while, I could just tell he wasn't asleep and he wasn't gonna go to sleep. So I went and got him out, and he was all happy and excited, and he told me, "I love the ghost." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "There's a ghost in my room." And at first, I really didn't think much into it, just because kids say random stuff, and I don't know, but it was weird because ghosts aren't something that we would have talked about, and this was in April or May, so it wasn't around Halloween or a time where he'd be hearing about ghosts or thinking about them. So I'm like, what did it look like? And he said, it's a man, he's old, he has white hair, and he's really small. And this is where it really freaked me out, because my grandfather was obviously white hair and old. He was in his 80s, but he was really short, and in his last few years he had gotten very, very thin because of his illness, so he was very small. And okay, what did he do? What did he say? And he said, he came to say hi to me. I'm like, is he still there? Where did he go? He goes, no, he went into the light. And for me, I totally believe that that was his spirit coming to visit, but I did have some family members that were like, oh, it's just a coincidence. Kids just tell funny things. It's a coincidence that it was on the same day. So then 4 or 5 months later, my grandmother passes away, and kind of a backstory to this is the last few months my dad and uncles were kind of no contact with her. So she had called me randomly one day and asked me if I would be her medical contact, and I said yes. And she was like, I just want you to understand what this means is if I pass, you will be the person that is contacted, and you'll have to inform the family. And she just seemed like it really meant a lot to her for me to do that, so I said yes. So this day I got the call and informed the family, and again, my kids were 1 and 3. I didn't explain it to them or tell them anything. They might have seen me upset, but I didn't say anything about what was going on. That night I was tucking them into bed, and my 3-year-old said, there's a ghost in here with us. So I'm like, what do they look like? And he said, it's a girl, she's old, she has white hair, and she's here to tell you thank you. Now, you cannot tell me that it's a coincidence, and nothing like that has happened again. It's been about 4 years. He's never talked about seeing a ghost or a spirit or anything like that. In fact, he doesn't even remember this. Now he's almost 7.
That was so sweet. His grandparents was like, no, I'm meeting my babies. That was adorable. He was just he went into the light on the day that he passed away, and y'all saying, oh, that's a coincidence. Have y'all not realized there's no such thing as coincidences? Everything that happens is meant to happen. It's happening for a reason. So yeah, that really happened. That baby experienced that and met his grandparents. And the fact that her grandma came back and was just thank you. I wonder if she felt the presence. Didn't noticed it but did not notice it. Sometimes when you walk into places, you can feel the energy change or the shift or anything. I wonder if she felt that when her grandmother was in the room. That was really a touching story. Wow. Yeah, I'm low-key sad that no one believed it, but they didn't have to believe it. It wasn't for them to believe it. That was for you, baby. That was for you. Subscribe.